Throughout history, women have pushed through the margins and have created movements that shout back at injustice. In the early 1990s, young women in Olympia, Washington and Washington, D.C. of America did exactly that. They called themselves Riot Girls. Riot for their explosive refusal to stay silent, and girl for a growl that rejected being the quiet, polite girl society expected. These women were joined by people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, and people with disabilities. They were tired of toxic masculinity dominating the punk rock scene. Their movement was a revolt against sexism, racism, ableism, homophobia, and more. As feminist bands and grassroots organizers reacted to this culture of oppression, they offered new ideologies about gender, reshaped communities, and developed independent conventions and media. Their lasting legacy includes reforms in feminist DIY publishing, safer spaces for women in mosh pits, and a cultural redefinition of taboos surrounding womanhood, identity, and self-expression. In the punk rock scene, women faced hostility, toxic masculinity, gatekeeping, harassment, and even physical violence at shows.
Let's get all these girls to learn how to play instruments and take care of her.
Riot Girls wanted to call out men while proving that femininity did not mean weakness. Their rage, creativity, and refusal to conform aligned perfectly with the punk rock scene resistance-based aesthetic. Although the movement is often portrayed as led by cisgender white women, Riot Grrrl also included and was shaped by women of color, queer youth, and disabled women. Their experiences exposed gaps in mainstream feminism and forced the movement to confront intersectionality. Riot Grrrl was not simply a music trend. It was a political demand for space, safety, and voice. Riot Grrrls reacted to their erasure by making themselves impossible to ignore. Flyers, zines, stickers, and manifestos challenged the old belief that feminine equals weak, replacing it with feminine equals powerful. One zine declared, "Burn down the walls they say you can't. The revolution starts here." For centuries, women were told to be mere housewives, silenced before they had a chance to contribute. Riot Grrrl confronted this legacy head-on. Their messages reminded young women that suffering was not something to compare or dismiss. It was something to fight. The movement taught American girls that they had every opportunity to be as capable or more so than men. Combat boots, shaved heads, spiked belts, boldly painted faces. Riot Grrrl style demanded attention. When student Lorraine LeBlanc was suspended in 1984 for distracting others with her punk appearance, it showed just how threatening female self-expression could appear to authority figures. Newsweek's infamous 1992 article reduced Riot Grrrls to young, white, urban, and middle class, a claim the movement rejected for ignoring its diversity and political purpose. Punk music was Riot Grrrl's birthplace, but the movement quickly grew into something independent. Women created new concerts, festivals, and gatherings free from male-dominated violence. Zines influenced music, fashion, ideology, and the entire DIY, do-it-yourself, culture. Many girls were harassed the moment they arrived at punk venues.
Sick to death for going to gigs and coming back with bruises and broken ribs. It's not fair because lads get everything.
In response, Riot Grrrls organized girls-only mosh pits, spaces where women could slam, jump, scream, and rage without fear. The message was clear: no guys allowed. Photographs in Pretty and Punk show girls blending feminine styles with traditionally masculine roughness, proof that they were reshaping what womanhood could look like. These actions helped Riot Grrrl spread nationwide, creating a network of young women determined to stick it to the man. One of the most immediate reforms Riot Grrrl achieved was transforming the concert environment. All Girls to the Front became a rallying cry, urging women to claim the space they deserved. The documentary, The Punk Singer, highlights how women were pushed out of mosh pits and physically targeted. Kathleen Hanna famously confronted aggressive men during shows. The second major reform was a boom in independent feminist media. Zines became a lifeline for girls who lacked access to traditional publishing. Mainstream editors often rejected their writing, so girls printed their own work on library copiers and shared it by hand. These texts were raw, emotional, political, and revolutionary. Another short-term change sparked by Riot Grrrl was the rapid shift in how young women communicated, organized, and supported one another. Before the movement, many girls felt isolated in their experiences with sexism, homophobia, or discrimination, especially in male-dominated subcultures. Girls' meetings, often called chapters, created safe, confidential spaces where girls could speak without interruption, share personal struggles, and build solidarity. These meetings operated almost like informal consciousness, raising groups, encouraging participants to realize that their experiences were not individual failures, but shared effects of a larger system of inequality. This immediate sense of community empowered girls to take more public action, writing zines together, forming bands, hosting workshops, and confronting harassment at concerts. Chapters also helped to spread Riot Grrrls ideas from one city to another, allowing the movement to multiply rapidly across the US and even internationally. This fast-growing network of young women was one of the most influential short-term outcomes of the movement, providing the foundation for the long-term digital and DIY activism that would follow. Riot Grrrls achieved more than short-term disruption. It sparked cultural changes that still shape feminism today. Online zines, Tumblr blogs, DIY tutorials, and social media activism are direct descendants of Riot Grrrls' bedroom activism. Anyone with a phone can now advocate, create, and influence others. Tattoos, piercings, bold clothing, and unconventional makeup helped normalize alternative forms of beauty and self-presentation. Zines and posters address topics long treated as shameful. For example, periods, skin color, body hair, hygiene, and mental health. This helped redefine taboos by making them visible. As an author notes, these spaces motivated members of the Riot Grrrl communities to openly share personal experiences. The Riot Grrrl movement was a revolution built by women, the LGBTQ+ community, individuals with disabilities, and people of color who refused silence. From Washington to DC, feminist bands and activists reacted to sexism, racism, ableism, and homophobia by creating new forms of media, safer spaces, and a bold reimagining of womanhood. Their reforms transformed mosh pits, DIY publishing, reshaped fashion and identity, and normalized conversations about topics once treated as taboo. Feminine does not mean weak. The Riot Grrrls changed punk rock for men into punk rock for all. Are you ready to revolt?